All right, guys, so we're going to go over some recovery modalities. Really, when we think about recovery, we're thinking about these three things as being the biggest driver. These are the three things that we can control, and those are going to be the three things that move the needle in our ability to recover from our training. From thinking in a holistic standpoint, right? This is the driving stimulus that needs to be recovered from. These are the two things that aid that ability to recover, right? Nutrition is going to be very valuable when you're thinking about where we're at within our program and regime. If we have a higher volume program, then our nutrition needs to be identical to the volume needs and the demands of the program. And so if we're thinking about being in a volume phase of some type of program or muscle hypertrophy, the nutrition is going to look a little bit more of a higher carbohydrate type of nutrition because carbohydrates are our primary fuel source. And then we're also going to think about energy surplus. Everything that we do within our program has energy demands to it. Nutrition fuels our ability to drive those energy demands. So as a strength athlete, as a performance athlete, our nutrition needs to be something that's going to keep us in a calorie surplus most of the year so that we're able to continue to drive this program. And if our nutrition is starting to be in a deficit and we're starting to get lower and lower in calories, then that's going to start to affect our sleep. So understanding that nutrition is going to be the biggest thing that drives our ability to perform at a high level, we want to make sure that carbohydrates, especially if they're going to think about them being the main drivers of our ability to produce force, our ability to sustain training, our ability to recover from training, which if you look at the literature, carbohydrates are one of the bigger things along with protein. That needs to be programmed around your training situation. So carbohydrates before, maybe during, maybe and after training, and having a protein bolus throughout the day, right around 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram for any athlete. It can be a little bit higher if you look at some of the over refeed studies of protein. They've gone up to 4.4 and it's shown to be a positive effect. So we want to have protein at least 1.8 at the lowest, and then it can go up. Carbohydrates before, during, and after training is going to be one of the most important things, but carbohydrates throughout the day. And then we want fats right around 20 to 30% of our calorie domain that's going to be left over. And then as long as we're in a surplus and we have all those things, then we're going to be able to recover at maximum capacity for training. And then we're going to think about sleep. How does nutrition interact with sleep, and how does programming interact with sleep, right? If we're having nutrition and we're in a calorie surplus and we're trying to get our sleep program timed, we want to think about having a little bit of a smaller meal before sleep, because if we're too busy digesting food during sleep, then that's going to interrupt sleep. Food is also thermogenic. So if we have food before sleep, then that can raise our heart rate. If our heart rate's up, then it's going to be harder to get into deep sleep and REM sleep, which are the ones that are going to help us recover. And then if we need to produce a little bit more sleepiness or a little bit more ability to fall asleep faster, we want to think about trying to release serotonin. So you can think about tryptophan, which is going to come from turkey. That can help. It's an amino acid that can help you induce sleep. And then carbohydrates also spike serotonin, so that can help you induce sleep as well. And then thinking about what's the best way to get sleep, anywhere between that 7 to 9 hour in bed kind of range is what you're looking for. And what it shows throughout the research is that consistency is the most important thing. So it's not so much that you have to get 8 hours every day, but when time you go to bed and what time you wake up needs to be consistent Sunday through Sunday. So if you're sleeping, waking up at 4 a.m. Monday through Friday for work, and you start sleeping in on Saturday and Sunday around 10 a.m., then that's going to cause issues with you falling back asleep on Monday. So it's a very negative perpetual cycle that you're going to put yourself in. And then as you're waking up, and if you have to train, then you want carbohydrates. But if you don't have to train and say you need to do some type of learning bouts or some type of focus bouts, having something that allows you to do that, which is going to be either fasting or lower carbohydrate types food, that's going to help perpetuate cortisol release. That's going to help spike dopamine so that you're able to drive through the day and perform better. And by spiking that stuff first thing in the morning, that's going to allow your body to start getting on circadian rhythm, so that when nighttime comes around, more serotonin, more melatonin is going to be produced, because your body has those ultradian rhythms, which are 90-minute rhythms that you produce things in, which is the sleep cycle, which is their day-to-day life. So making sure that our sleep is going to be very good and not impacted is going to be extremely important. We can fix that with nutrition. We can also fix that with like sleep interventions, thinking about doing a 10-minute walk walk as the sun's going down. Also making sure that your temperature in your house is going to be cool around 67 degrees, 68 degrees, having blackout curtains or getting an eye mask to keep the lights out, and any type of white noise to perpetuate your ability to kind of sleep a little bit deeper. And if you have issues moving around and staying asleep, you can also get a weighted blanket, which can help. And then programming. This is going to be one of the biggest ones to drive our ability to recover. It's not so much that a program needs to be set in stone for that person, but understanding the dynamics that these two things play in lifestyle and stress is going to dictate your program. And so if you have someone who's doing finals a week, maybe their program is going to go from 4 days a week to 3 days a week. And it's the undulation of volume, being able to undulate volume as stress gets higher in their life. So maybe they had a fight with their girlfriend or they had a breakup. That's going to be a high stressful state. So taking their volume, cutting that in half, and being able to auto-regulate their program for them is going to allow them to recover at full capacity. So making sure week to week, day to day, you find that volume that person's able to recover from is going to be the biggest thing. And this is going to be the volume that's a driving factor of recoverability. So as you can see, all three of these things are very synergistic in how you're able to promote recovery person to person. And then you have some quote unquote recovery modalities, right, that haven't necessarily been proven by science to bring about recovery, except for stretching has some validity to it. But they're things that have placebo effects that can help people recover. And a lot of it comes down to having people be in a more parasympathetic state. So massage, the idea of having sensual touch and relaxation for 90 minutes to an hour has been shown to help improve recovery. So massage can do that through that modality. Not so much the fact that they're actually mushing tissues around and things like that, but the fact that you're relaxing for 60 minutes and there's some type of touch involved can promote recovery, can promote the release of some neurotransmitters that can help induce recovery. Hot cold treatment, that's something that has also been expounded upon for recovery. But if you look at the research, cold treatment post-workout actually blunts your adaptation process. So if you have cold treatments to try to improve recovery, that's actually disallowing your body to adapt from the program, and so you're not going to be able to get as many gains as you normally would. So cold therapy or hot therapy may be something that's a little bit better on a rest day that can get your body to start releasing some of those neurotransmitters, and also being able to think about cooling the body when it's in hotter conditions. Something like a slushy or ice water or some type of wet towel has been shown to improve performance when the weather is really hot outside. Supplements, you're not really going to find many to improve recovery unless you get some blood work done and then you have deficiencies within those supplements. You can use that blood work to drive your ability to improve recovery by getting everything back on track. A lot of the micronutrients can help with that. And then the only real supplement that's been shown time and time again to improve your ability to produce output and may help with recovery in between sessions or in between sets and reps is going to be creatine monohydrate. Your body uses creatine to produce any type of anaerobic type of movement within that 0 to 5 second rep range or 0 to 5 second paradigm. So if you have creatine within your body, that's going to replenish a lot faster, so you'll be able to produce force at a higher rate. And then stretching post-workout and stretching right before bed has been shown to have some recovery effects to it, but it's along the same lines of massage. It's just your ability to relax when you're out from the gym, right? When you're at the gym, you can train hard. Outside of the gym, in order for you to recover, it's all about relaxation. So if you do a cold bath and that gets you more frantic and more sympathetically aroused, it's actually going to have a negative effect on your ability to recover. If you're going in a sauna and you hate doing the sauna, that'll have a negative effect on your recovery. So these are things that, along with relaxation, breath work, meditation, walking, right? Anything that allows you to relax can have benefits to them, but none of it's necessarily been substantiated within the paradigm of research. These are the three biggest things that are going to yield the biggest results in recovery. So that's the three things that I would focus on and undulate until you get that right. Then you can start worrying about this other stuff.